I have a second channel, Cube Comp MTDX. Hey everybody, here's another video about this action camera battery, this SJCAM compatible battery that came from an SJCAM SJ4000 knockoff, the camera that I had gotten last year, that sports action camera, or sports cam. You know, that thing was a piece of garbage. It shot photos and videos in a whopping 640 by 480 pixels. While saying it was doing it at 1080p, which was a flat out lie. Even this battery that it came with is a flat out lie. I did a video previously on it. So it turns out this quote unquote 900 milliamp hour battery is really only a 200 milliamp hour battery, according to the test I performed using this about a couple weeks ago. Yeah, but I did not actually pop it into this DBPOWER video camera to see what it would do. So I figured, why not? That's going to be part of today's video. Now, what you see in the background is actually part of another video I'm doing on some batteries I purchased off of Amazon. So, this battery here, I figured, okay, why not? Just for the heck of it, for a little recap. Let's go ahead and weigh this battery versus the one that came with the DBPOWER D2 action camera. Knockoff battery is a whopping 8.68 grams, while the one that came with the DBPOWER, which is rated at 1050 milliamp hours, weighs in at 17.68, which is roughly more than double the weight of this one. And also compare that to this Camcong 1350 milliamp hour battery. It weighs in at almost 22 grams. So, let's stick this little Featherlight battery back into this camera. Or into this camera, I should say. Here we are. So load in an SD card, and I'm going to see how long this thing will record. At 1080p 60 FPS. See, when I first got this DBPOWER camera, I was like, oh great, I could use the battery that came with the sports cam with it. No. Unless I wanted to make it like a 5-minute recording. Well, we're going to see exactly how long this thing's going to work. Once I get this cover back on here. Yeah, these are always a little finicky to get on. Oh, come on. There. It's on. So, we'll load in an SD card. A good size SD card. And we'll see what this thing can do. Okay. Micro SD card is loaded in. Let's go ahead and start it up. Now I should go and mention that I just pulled the battery off this little USB charger here. And the voltage was like 4.17 volts, so it's fully charged. 1080p 60 FPS. Let's start recording. And it is now recording. So the battery indicator currently says full, but that won't last long. I'm pretty well certain of that. tell you guys, this is a fantastic little camera. I will be doing a follow-up on it pretty soon. More of an in-depth review of some of the features it offers, but I tell you, for $30 and the current price of $34.99 or $35.99, it's a total bargain. It really is. And it's funny how similar these devices. It's funny how similar these things are to. Oh look. This is barely a minute in. It already says that the battery has it's not full anymore. Now the display on this does shut off by default after 1 minute of no activity. It's just to save power. I'm going to leave it at the default setting, but of course I'll be regularly starting the LCD screen back up just to see what the charge is. But yeah, guys, I have used this thing to film bike rides. I had it on top of my Jeep the other night. Did a ride through town with it at night, and it actually done rather well. My bike rides are also at night as well, because I do ride at night when traffic is nowhere near as bad. I have filmed thunderstorms with this thing. I have tested out the Wi-Fi functionality of it, and that works pretty well once you get it set up and running. I'm telling you, this thing is a real bargain. So, as I think I was saying, it's funny how similar these things are to the SJCAMs and the SJCAM knockoffs. All the accessories that came with that crappy sports camera work with this thing. That's one thing that the SportsCam did offer, was a boatload of accessories, including a watertight case. So I have 2 watertight cases for this thing, and it's a variety of different mounts. I'm probably ordering some more stuff here pretty soon for it. So 3 minutes in, we'll let this go, see what happens. Okay, guys. 8.5 minutes in. And it says we only have half the battery left. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah, this ain't gonna last much longer, I don't think. Yeah, the LCD just went to sleep. But yeah, seriously, that's awful. That's terrible. Okay, guys. 10.5 minutes in, says battery's getting low. We don't have the cross through it yet, so it's not exactly there yet, but it's getting there. It won't be much longer. Well, guys, it has shut off. Let's see how long it lasted. Okay, I guess I have to put it on the computer really to see. Yeah, so we'll pop it into the computer and look at it that way. Let's go ahead and have a look at the file. 14.5 minutes is all we got out of this thing. That's sad. 14.5 minutes. 14 minutes and 36 seconds is all it did before it shut off. So we'll pull this out. The battery is a little bit warm, guys. Yeah, it's warm. And that's the casing. That's not the actual battery pack. The battery pack, the cell is inside here. It's probably a little bit of lithium polymer cell that's inside here, and we're gonna probably go inside here and have a look. It won't be right now, but I'm gonna include it in this video. I'll probably actually shoot that part tomorrow. But I want to see what the current resting voltage is on this thing. See, I was watching some videos on YouTube of these cameras, and one guy actually did crack open this battery, or one like it. Came from a SportsCam, and it had a tiny little lithium polymer cell in it. And questionable even if it even had a protection circuit. Okay, so we're sitting at 3.66 volts. So the DBPOWER camera does draw down a bit more reasonable than some of my other devices that I have. But yeah, this thing is pretty warm. Now the camera itself may have shed some heat onto the battery because the camera itself was quite warm. Even the little micro SD card was quite warm. But yeah, this thing was pretty hot, I must say. So yeah. This battery, I'm telling you guys, is junk. It's junk. So in the next part of this video, we'll be cracking this open to see what's in it. Because I have some ideas in mind for this battery, at least the shell. I'm thinking of possibly doing a plug-in 18650 mod for this camera. Okay, now that we've seen just how horrible this battery here performs, I figure now it's time to go ahead and open it up. We're going to do exactly what they don't tell you to do on the battery. Do not disassemble. Well, we're going to disassemble it. So from what I've seen on the other YouTube video, essentially the way they get into these things, you just peel back this sticker. And I think you gotta peel the stickers off the side too. Let's see here. I mean, there's not much in this thing. I mean, it's pretty freaking anemic. Just gonna peel off all the labels. I'm gonna actually take this outside for a minute, just in case. Okay, so now I'm outside in case anything crazy happens when getting into this thing. So, one thing I'm going to mention is do not stick your screwdriver in this because you got a LiPo pouch cell right inside here. So right now I'm carefully peeling back this cover because they got it taped onto the actual lithium polymer battery. And that's the actual battery right there. Notice how anemic it looks, how it looks so anemic inside this whole thing. It's crazy. I mean, it's definitely they definitely could have stuck a bigger battery in this for sure. The thing I'm wondering is how difficult would it be to get this whole thing out of here? Because I think they had this whole thing like stuck together with adhesive. And I don't want to put a whole lot of pressure on this little pouch. That's the thing about LiPo batteries I do not like is how they aren't exactly structurally sound. Unlike 18650s, which are encased in a steel container. These are just, well, yeah. Okay, so upon closer inspection, it does look like we have a protection circuit in there, so that's good to know. So what I was thinking is if I could remove this existing battery, if I could get this existing battery out of the way, I could actually solder in 2 wires and make what I call a plug-in 18650 mod. That would just plug into the camera. Like for example, guys, I don't know if you can tell or not, but under here they got this like padding. It's to take up space that wasn't used by the battery because the battery is so small. So my idea here is if I can get this out of here, sometimes the manufacturer will actually print the capacity of the battery cell on the cell itself. but again, I want to exercise quite a bit of caution doing this. Okay, so I went and walked back in for a moment. It's so bright there I couldn't really see what was on the LCD screen of my camera. Just want to make sure that you guys get an opportunity to see what's in this thing before I try to dig any further into it. I'm going to try now. Not sure if I'm going to be successful or not, but I'm going to try to remove this lithium polymer pouch cell out of here. And see if I can perhaps mod this little container into being a plug-in 18650 mod. Where essentially I would take one of my 2X parallel 18650 battery holders, solder in a fuse to the positive, and then from there run 2 wires into this little thing, probably to the bottom, and solder up to the existing terminals there. It'll utilize the existing protection board. Okay, so I'm back outside. Now I'm out front because my AC unit's running out back, so don't need to have that drowning out the audio. So carefully try to disassemble this thing. See, the thing is, I can't use a screwdriver, or I don't want to, because that would be putting a lot of pressure on this lithium polymer pouch. This is the way they have this thing glued together. That's why I'm not a fan of lithium polymer batteries. Because it would not take much to accidentally short this thing out, internally or externally. And I think what I can do is I could use a screwdriver under the padding that is inside there to try to lift this thing out. Because I don't mind taking the padding out with the battery, but we don't need to be putting a lot of pressure on the battery itself. Okay, so I went ahead and grabbed a couple of small screwdrivers, because what I can do is I can get in here at this padding that's under the battery and perhaps get it out that way. Just got to be very careful. If you guys were to do something like this, just be extremely careful. Do it outside. So I'm looking at the cell and I see it looks to be the left side is positive and right side is negative. I see there's a piece of padding there, probably being used as an insulator. So we're going to carefully lift this thing up and out here. It does look like the whole board is coming out with it too, so no complaints there. So essentially I'm taking my screwdriver and I'm prying under the padding that's on the bottom. I'm not actually prying at the cell itself, because these lithium polymer batteries are very fragile. I mean, I've seen videos of these LiPo cells in RC trucks exploding just after a truck made a hard jump. So, yeah. Okay, so I'm carefully nudging it up. I'm sorry I'm having to do this off camera, but sometimes safety has to be more important than video quality. So at least y'all get to listen in on me. I'm trying to reposition myself here on this out here to try to get you a better view, but again, safety's more important right now. It's just like when I harvest laptop batteries. I do it with care and caution. Yeah, so essentially this thing's just glued all together. Okay, so we're getting close to having it out. Yeah, this sweltering heat and humidity ain't making things much easier. Okay, so it's almost out. There, it's out. Okay. Now if I can get my screwdriver and pried from it. Here we are. So this is all that's in there. It's this little bitty LiPo cell and a small protection board. Really, guys, to be honest, I'm surprised they even bothered putting a protection board in this thing. You know, given the fact that they lied so much about the battery's capacity, you know, it's kind of surprising they actually bothered to even put a protection circuit in this thing. So the next plan here is to carefully peel this adhesive off this poor battery. Okay, so the battery appears to not have any sort of markings on it as far as capacity goes. It's just blank. So what I want to do is I want to try to, oh, there we go, just peel this up forward and snip off. Oh yeah, this should be pretty easy. Okay, so I've got the protection board peeled up a good bit, so we have easy access to the terminals. So I'm going to go ahead and clip off the positive and then the negative. Just do this very carefully. Matter of fact, it just popped off. It just popped right off, guys, surprisingly. Well, I think I know why. It's because they spot welded. Yeah, they spot welded the battery onto the protection circuit, which, you know, makes sense. Carefully remove this battery so that way I can recycle it. Okay, so the battery has officially been removed. That's the battery. I'll tell you guys, working with lithium-ion batteries like this, it feels like you're disarming a freaking bomb. Matter of fact, this terminal, the positive terminal in this battery is just going to fall right off. It's just been I think it's just been stressed so much. Okay, so we'll head back inside and get a closer look at things. Okay guys, after several minutes of carefully pulling this apart out in the sweltering heat, outside it's apart. So this is the battery. Again, teeny tiny little battery. Should be able to measure the voltage of it now, since I got it all disconnected and everything. So the shorter side is positive, the longer one is negative. Got about 3.7 volts sitting on it right now. So what I'll be doing with this is I'll be wrapping these terminals up with electrical tape to try and make it safe enough for storage. And clip these leads down just a little bit shorter now. Turn this around. If I can get you a closer look at those chips. Not too much to it, just a simple little protection circuit. So, on the bottom we have these tabs, which I should be able to go ahead and peel off this spot weld. Because see, what I can do with this is I can solder on a couple of wire leads that go to one of my 18650 holders. And of course on the positive line I also put in a fuse for safety as well. So it's quite simple. You just your negative goes here, your positive goes there, and this little assembly slides right inside here. And what I would do is I would get some glue or some sort of adhesive to fasten this into place. And of course I have a couple of wires coming out going, I don't know, maybe a few inches to an 18650 holder. And we could call that the external 18650 mod, or excuse me, the plug-in 18650 mod. So that's the look inside the knockoff battery from the generic sports action camera. And again, that's the battery. That's how tiny the freaking thing is. I mean, it's really, really tiny. And it looks about right for a 200 milliamp hour battery. So, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that video. Thanks for watching. Well, guys, that's it for this one. But it doesn't have to be. There's plenty more videos on the channel to check out. Also, if you liked the video, please click the like button. And if you absolutely hated it, there is the alternative button as well. But yeah, please subscribe to the channel. I definitely appreciate it. And remember to click the bell so that we get notified of all updates. Also, if you're interested in things aside from computers and technology, check out my second channel. It's CubeComp MTDX. Over there you'll find videos about weather, elevators, bicycling, and pretty much whatever else I figure out to upload. So yeah, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you for your support.